Hey everybody, and welcome back. Let's talk about money today, shall we? Having it versus spending it. Myself, I like having money more than I enjoy spending it. I like the feeling that it gives me. I don't think of having money as being able to go out on shopping sprees or being able to afford expensive material things or being able to go deeply into debt so that I can afford the monthly payment for high-ticket items. Rather, for me, real wealth is having enough money set aside in case I need it. For instance, a car wreck, the transmission goes out, medical bills, home repairs, retirement, just being able to retire or not. Being able to retire and having the peace of mind of knowing that I'll never have to go back to work again of necessity. Or just being able to visit a family member or a friend who lives over in another state. I like the feeling of being able to take care of these kind of things without having to worry about it or stress out about it. Now that kind of mindset of enjoying having money has been the primary motivation for me to be a saver all of my life, and it has served me well, and I would like to tell you why. But first, if you're seeing me for the first time, my name is Ronnie. Thanks for stopping by. If you like the content here on this channel, be sure to hit that thumbs up button that you'll find down below and feel free to subscribe, and I'll thank you in advance. So here are my thoughts on why I like having money versus spending money. Number one, the more money we spend, particularly unnecessarily, but the more money we spend, the further it takes us away from the kind of life that we really want to live. Let me explain. When we spend money and buy things, it feels good, right? But it feels good in the moment, and that feeling doesn't last forever. Eventually, the dopamine hit lifts. But real joy comes from having money rather than recklessly spending it, because having money is what brings us peace of mind, it buys our freedom, and provides us with opportunities that we would not otherwise have. Listen closely to this. Government statistics show that 60% of American households, or 60% of American wage earners, are living paycheck to paycheck. That's right, 60% of us living paycheck to paycheck. When people are living paycheck to paycheck, they're just treading water. They're up to their eyeballs in financial trouble, and there can't even be a ripple on the surface or they'll go under. Now, you can understand why somebody would be living paycheck to paycheck if they're making, say, $30,000 a year, because there's just not enough money to go around. Mathematically, there's not enough to cover all the expenses and the cost of living. But these statistics, 60% of us living paycheck to paycheck, also includes people who are in a higher tax bracket than $30,000 a year. It also includes people who are making $65,000 a year, $75,000, or $85,000 a year. And get this, it even includes people who are making up to $150,000 a year in combined household income. And I just have to say, wow to that. Imagine making a $150,000 a year and be living paycheck to paycheck. That sounds like over-consumerism to me. If I was making $100,000 a year or more, and I was living paycheck to paycheck, I would feel like that there is a financial train wreck in my future, because there would be. I would just have to figure out a way to slash my cost of living, cut my costs, and downsize as much as possible so that I could save as much money as possible while the income lasted in order to secure my financial future. Living paycheck to paycheck will prevent you from living your future dream life. Every dollar that we spend unnecessarily moves us further away from the kind of life that we would really like to live. It might feel good in the moment, spending money, and it does, but it costs us more in the long run. And so that's the first reason why I like having money more than I enjoy spending money, because by having money, it brings me closer to the kind of life that I really want to live, which, by the way, I am living right now. Which leads me to point number two. Another reason I like having money more than spending it is because having money is a buffer that protects me from ever having to return back to work again of necessity. And what I mean is this: now that I'm retired and have been enjoying my freedom for the last few years, My freedom now means more to me than anything else. There's no car payment, there's no boat payment, there's no shopping spree, there's no nothing that is worth me ever giving up my freedom for. And for me, the choice is easy. It always has been. There's nothing at Walmart, there's nothing in an antique store, and there's nothing on Amazon that is worth me forfeiting my freedom for. There is no oversized house with an oversized mortgage and high-end cars sitting out there in the driveway that is worth me having to work until the day that I die. Not even close, man. Not even close. That's why I like having money more than I enjoy spending money, because it is a buffer that protects me from having to go back to work again of necessity. My personal freedom is more important than anything else. Let me ask you a question. What is the one thing that rich people have that working class people typically don't have? Answer: freedom, personal freedom, individual freedom. Rich people have enough money that they're able to just call the shots in their own life. And yet working class people can have the same kind of freedom, personal freedom and individual freedom, if they will only focus their efforts upon financial independence rather than living a life of overconsumerism. Having freedom is real wealth. If you have personal freedom and individual freedom, you just simply can't be any richer than that. And money is the buffer that protects me from ever having to go back to work again of necessity to make a living or to just make the payments for the rest of my life. Another reason I like having money more than I enjoy spending money is because, number 3, it offers me a more fulfilling path to long-term happiness. In other words, it gives me options. If I have money, it puts me on a path of my choice. I can choose my own path in life, a path that's more fulfilling and that can lead to long-term happiness. For instance, I can try an encore career if I wanted to. I could try another vocation that I was always interested in but was never able to do before. Or I could spend all of my time just training for an athletic event that's coming up. Or I could spend all of my time developing a new lifetime hobby. Or I could do volunteer work or community work or whatever. The choice is mine. If I have money and I can choose my own path, then it means I can work, I can change jobs, I can not work, whatever. In fact, I could even choose to spend my remaining days in leisure. And that is the power of freedom. And it can be that way for anybody. It can be that way for you too, because once you have your freedom, then you can choose your own path in life. Whereas you can't choose your own path if you are beholden to the bank or beholden to your employer. So that's another reason why I enjoy having money rather than spending money. Number 4, the fourth reason that I enjoy having money rather than spending it is because I enjoy watching my bank account. I enjoy watching my bank account grow more than I enjoy watching the numbers go down. You get that, right? It's more enjoyable to watch the numbers go up than it is to watch the numbers go down. I mean, that's just the brutal truth of it all. Now, I've been a saver all of my life. Even when I was a teenager and working, I saved money. I wasn't making much money. I certainly wasn't rich and didn't get rich. But I always was a saver, and being a saver all of my life has served me well. And then during my working years, my vocational years, I always saved. There was never a period in my life when I didn't save something. And then finally, whenever I reached 51 years old, I was able to pay off our home mortgage. And my wife and I became 100% debt-free, and we've been 100% debt-free ever since. And from that point onward, I was able to accelerate my savings, and I was astonished at how much I was able to save and how quickly it piled up. And it was amazing to watch that happen. And it has always given me a great deal of enjoyment to watch the numbers go up more than spending the money for the dopamine hit, while at the same time having to watch the numbers go down. Because I always knew that whenever I lived a frugal life and refrained from unnecessary spending, I was making positive sacrifices for my future and for my future self, which I'm able to be living right now. Now that I'm retired, I'm no longer saving money from earned income because I don't work any longer. But I still enjoy watching the numbers grow, and here's what I mean. It is great whenever I get my quarterly statements to see that this account has increased by $5,000 or that account over there has increased by $8,000, or when I get my monthly statement from the bank for my high yield savings account and see that that account has gone up a couple $1,000s. It's just fantastic to see numbers going up. I'm not working now, but you know what? I'm at that place where my money is working for me, and it's just fantastic to see that happening. It's always much more enjoyable to see the numbers go up than it is to see the numbers go down. And there is nothing out there, no consumer product, no consumer good that I am willing to buy to forfeit that, to watch my numbers go down, especially if it puts my life at risk. Now, a funny thing happened to me over the years, which is this. When I was in my vocational years and working, and I was watching my bank account grow, it actually became easier for me to save more, and it became easier for me to spend less. I mean, it really did. As the numbers went up, it became easier to save more. It was almost like a snowball. The more I saved, the more I wanted to save. And it became easier and easier and easier over the years, and it just became a normal thing for me. And I never felt like I was making a sacrifice. I never felt like I was being deprived. I was doing all of those things because there were some things that I wanted in life more than other things. I wanted my freedom more than I wanted a boat. I wanted my freedom more than I wanted a material thing over here. And it never felt like a sacrifice at all. And here's why. Financial security is the ultimate luxury in life. Let me say that again. Financial security is the ultimate luxury in life because without it, it's hard to fully enjoy anything else that your money can buy. If I go out and buy a bunch of stuff, for instance, but I have to keep working at a job that I don't really enjoy so that I can afford the payments on that stuff, then I'm not really able to enjoy those things to the fullest. See what I mean? But if you have financial security and you're able to escape the rat race, that is the ultimate luxury in life. Let me tell you a true story. I recently read a story about two brothers who were polar opposites when it came to personal finance and the way that they managed their money. Brother number one landed a great job one day, and get this, he was making $400,000 a year. Yes, $400,000 a year. He did this job for 10 years, a decade, which means that over that 10-year period, he made approximately $4 million. And yet at the same time, over that same decade, he spent his money on high-end cars, expensive clothing, women, the nightlife, fast living, so forth and so on. You know the story. Eventually, he ran into tax trouble, and he lost everything, including the job. After a decade of making $400,000 a year, totaling $4 million, he had nothing to show for it. He had nothing left. He had built no equity, no home, no real estate, no nothing. Even his cars were leased. He didn't even own those, and so they went back. Now his brother number two, worked a blue-collar job. He worked in one of the vocational trades. He makes a moderate income, works hard, lives frugal, and saves as much money as possible. He's now close to being debt-free, and once he becomes debt-free, he'll be in a position to be able to retire early or change jobs to a less demanding field. In other words, because of his frugal living and saving money, he's now got options. While the other brother, who made a ton of money, is almost destitute through his own reckless choices. Now, we've all seen examples of this in our own lives. The world that we live in, we have seen people around us who do that. They spend everything that they got, and they have nothing to show for it. And when we see those examples, it paints for us a perfect picture for us as to why it is better to have money than it is to just keep on spending money. The freedom, the peace of mind, and the opportunities that it provides us is worth its weight in gold. So those are my reasons why I enjoy having money more than I enjoy spending money. So that's all for now. Leave me a comment down below if you will, and tell me what your experience has been with saving money versus spending money. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button and feel free to subscribe. I'm Ronnie. Take care, and we're going to see you next time.